Have you ever wondered why Ye Fan, one of the most powerful cultivators in all realms, would humble himself to ask for help? Especially from someone like Emperor Huang Tian Shi Hao, the man who had ruled with unmatched dominance, arbitrarily shaping eternity itself? In the final and climactic chapter of Perfect World, Shi Hao, the Emperor of Desolate Heaven, faced the most harrowing battle of his life. Standing alone, he went head-to-head against not one, not two, but four quasi-immortal emperors. The clash shook the very fabric of existence. Every strike echoed with unimaginable power. But the price was steep. The toll on Shi Hao's body and spirit was devastating. Just as the battle reached its most critical moment, when it seemed like hope was about to be extinguished, three more quasi-immortal emperors suddenly appeared from the long river of time. The sky itself seemed to crack open as new powers surged forth. These were no ordinary reinforcements. They were none other than the legendary Emperor Wu Shi, the unshakable Ye Fan, and the indomitable Emperor Hen Ren, three of the strongest cultivators from the future, arriving just in time to shift the tide of battle. Their appearance was more than just dramatic, it was salvation. With their arrival, Shi Hao was granted a lifeline. The three future emperors took on the invading quasi-immortal emperors from their own era, giving Shi Hao the opportunity to refocus his strength and continue facing the original four. It was a vital turning point. Without their aid, Shi Hao would have stood alone against seven near-immortal powerhouses, a challenge even he could not overcome. The battle would have ended in complete annihilation. But why did these three future sovereigns, Ye Fan, the Ruthless Emperor, and the Beginningless Emperor, take such a drastic step? Why did they travel across the constraints of time and space to seek help from someone of the past? The answer lies in a truth far more terrifying than anyone could have predicted. In the distant future, a catastrophe of unimaginable scale had struck. The kind of disaster that shook the heavens, one that left even the strongest cultivators powerless. The heaven-crushing group, composed of these three legendary figures, was brought to its knees by a force they could not contend with. Their only hope? To reach out across time itself and seek aid from the one man whose legend transcended the ages, Shi Hao, the Desolate Heaven Emperor. But this raised a troubling question. Shi Hao had already achieved the ultimate. He had crafted the perfect world. He had climbed to the summit of the heavens and reshaped reality. With such a foundation in place, how could the future still fall into chaos? The answer is deeply rooted in an ancient and sinister presence, the strange clan beyond the heavens. Despite Shi Hao's extraordinary feat of cutting off the boundary sea with his sword, severing the strange clan's connection to the heavens, their power remained vast. Their numbers included numerous immortal emperors and quasi-immortal emperors, all commanded by 10 unfathomably powerful high-altitude ancestors. Though their direct path into the heavens was blocked, they found other hidden channels to infiltrate the world below. As Emperor Wu Shi stated during the finale, the three quasi-immortal emperors who appeared weren't even creatures of this world. They had descended through special means, bypassing the sealed boundaries. This alone made one thing abundantly clear. The strange clan's threat was far from extinguished. But the issue wasn't just external. There was a critical imbalance in power. The three members of the heaven-crushing trio, Ye Fan, the Ruthless Emperor, and the Beginningless Emperor, were indeed the strongest cultivators of their generation. But when the catastrophe struck, they had only recently ascended to the level of quasi-immortal emperor. While such power was peerless within the heavens and myriad worlds, it paled in comparison to the might of a true immortal emperor from the strange clan. The gulf between these realms was vast. One immortal emperor could potentially annihilate the trio with ease. The despair they faced was reflected in a haunting message left behind. Shi Hao once discovered an ancient, blood-soaked ship drifting through time. On its deck was a chilling inscription left by the white-clothed empress. "I am the only one left." Those words told a story of hopelessness, a future where even the most powerful were crushed by the overwhelming darkness. And what of Shi Hao himself? Though he was known as the Desolate Heaven Emperor, a being unmatched in power, even he was not omnipotent. In the final act, Shi Hao chose to ascend alone to the peak of the heavens, standing between the world and the root of all weirdness. His goal was noble, to sever the threat at its source. But even for someone like him, this task was colossal. The strange clan's forces were vast. The 10 ancestral giants alone were a force beyond imagination. According to sacred ruins, Shi Hao once sacrificed his own boundless cultivation to illuminate and protect an entire world. The effort drained him to such an extent that he weakened over time and eventually vanished from history. His disappearance marked a fatal turning point. Without their guardian, the future generations were left defenseless. And in that void, the strange clan struck. The tragedy of the heaven-crushing group is a lesson in inevitability. Despite their strength, despite their courage, they could not withstand the forces bearing down on them. Their final act, traveling through time to beg for Shi Hao's aid, was not a move of strategy, but of desperation. And it worked. The presence of Shi Hao rekindled hope in their hearts. Even Emperor Ruthless, who had once stared into the abyss of despair, found herself uplifted simply by seeing the man whose legend had shaped the past, and now might save the future. In the end, it wasn't just Shi Hao's strength that saved them, it was the legacy he carried, the symbol he represented, a beacon for all who followed. And so, dear viewers, what do you think happened in the mysterious future of Perfect World? What force was so terrifying that it pushed the greatest emperors in history to travel across time for help? And what will become of Shi Hao, Ye Fan, and the rest in this eternal war against the unknown? Let us know your theories and insights in the comments below. This is more than just a story. It's a saga of power, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will to defy fate itself. And that brings us to the end of this epic chapter in Perfect World, a tale where even the mightiest emperors find themselves cornered, and the only hope lies in the past. Shi Hao's legend continues to ripple across time, proving that true power isn't just about strength, it's about legacy, sacrifice, and unwavering resolve. If you enjoyed diving into the mysteries behind Emperor Desolate Heaven and the Heaven-Crushing Trio, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on your favorite Donghua worlds. We'll be covering more deep lore, hidden connections, and unanswered questions from Perfect World and beyond. So join the discussion in the comments. What do you think really happened in the future? And could even Shi Hao's power stand against the full might of the strange clan? Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep walking the path of cultivation.